surely they want to pay for that. That's my opinion on it. Now, I would back anybody who would like to see the toilets being brought up to a standard, as I say, not to be perfect, but up to a standard. So, just what I'd like to say, there's punishment in.
Right. Is there any more questions for the councillors? Have you anything to say, Councillor Cross?
No, nothing.
Right. I know that, that's why I'm asking you. Right, thank you for that. Councillor...
Yeah, I'd just like to ask Councillor Cockrell about the alleviation scheme. I.e. do have a date for commencement.
This is due to go to planning the first week in June. Tenders should be received late May. So the intention is that as soon as it's gone through planning, the contractor would be engaged. They will start more likely in September.
Right. Is this a new planning application then, Councillor?
Yes, because the previous one ran out on the 21st of March.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, officers didn't do what I asked them to do. Otherwise, we would have started by now.
Right, thank you for that, Councillor Cockrell.
Thank you.
Can I ask on the same question? Was it held up because there was one of the farmers that hadn't given permission?
A lot of the delay is to do, I mean, there's 9 landowners.
9?
And, you know, some were very plain sailing, others took a long time. And some of it's still going through the actual final legal details.
Right.
Right, thank you for that. Yes.
As representing Five Savings Club, we are hoping to hold an event next year for the RS 200 sailing, and we've been told that it will have to go through Scarborough Council. So I'd just like to ask the councillors present to support the fact that we can hold an event, and we may need space on Country Park, and we'd just like to ask for your support if this crops up. Thank you.
Right, thank you for that. Any more questions for the Borough Councillors? No, we'll move on then. We'll go on to North Yorkshire County Council. Councillors to receive a report from the North Yorkshire County Councillor for the Clyde Town Council area. It's Councillor Swires. And Councillor Swires is not in Purdy because she isn't up for election. North Yorkshire aren't up for election yet, so
2 years now.
please ask us questions.
Right. I'll begin by stating some of North Yorkshire County Council's strengths. Start with positive. We've kept the council tax as low as possible whilst reducing our spending power by 40%, playing our part in rebalancing the country's books. We have reduced our properties, getting rid of old and inefficient buildings, and reduced our workforce with few compulsory redundancies. We have altered our contracts to allow us to deal with more local businesses, and we have started our own companies selling to other councillors to help our budgets go further. We still invest in the big things. Our roads, where we are spending more now than ever before on maintaining the largest network of roads in England. Here in Filey, we, that's I, and some of your councillors, and your clerk, Mr David Liddell, had a walkabout with Andrew Stanton from Highways. I believe that was a very useful exercise, but I will point out that Filey is the only area that I'm aware of, including Scarborough and Whitby, that has achieved a walkabout in recent years. In these financially challenged times, it's believed that officer time can be better spent. I do not agree, provided of course it's not abused. The county is replacing old street lights with modern, less carbon producing LED lights, increasing the rollout of high-speed broadband. It's now available in over 90% of premises and is growing. And very important here in Filey, more extra care facilities to look after our growing population of elders. As I'm sure you're all aware, we are in the midst of acquiring such a scheme. I know that there's been some concerns over it. I'll try and give you some background. It has 28 affordable rent units designed specifically to support people living with dementia and/or other complex needs or disabilities. 42 shared ownership units, 14 one-bed and 28 two-bed. Housing and Care 21 will manage the scheme's operation and delivery, including provision of a background care and support service, and the availability of a planned care service. Also, the potential availability of intermediate care, short stay apartments within the scheme. The development will provide an excellent housing care offer and enable people to remain independent living in their own property within the community for generations to come. Now, I have prepared something about the background of the history of all this, which I'm hoping might address some concerns. In 2015, the Care and Support Where I Live strategy, that's Warswill, was adopted by the Council, which replaced the earlier strategy, Our Future Lives. Warswill's strategy set out proposals for new health and adult services, will perform the services to ensure people remain safe and independent in their own homes and improve the amount and quality of accommodation with care and support across the county. The strategy aims to build on the successful extra care programme that has already been established in North Yorkshire prior to 2015 and also address the future of the remaining 12 North Yorkshire County Council owned elderly persons homes across the county, Silver Birches here being one of those. The strategy states that where possible and subject to consultation with key stakeholders, the Council will aim to replace the remaining elderly persons homes with extra care. In 2015, the County Council also procured a framework of providers who would assist in the delivery of the extra care programme, and an initial priority list of 6 schemes was identified. Filey was one of these priority areas. An initial desktop review of the likely demand for extra care in Filey was undertaken by a consultant, which showed there was potential demand for extra care. And on the 12th of June 2017, 2 drop-in events were held in the Everton Centre, one for the community and one for professionals. The purpose of those events was for the community and the professionals in the Filey area to attend and to find out more about extra care and to submit their views on the future provision in Filey. A specification was then prepared and expressions of interest were sought from the framework providers in December 2017. Tenders were returned by April 2018 and an evaluation exercise was undertaken. The contract was awarded to Housing 21. On the 4th of September 2018, North Yorkshire County Council Executive gave approval to delegate the decision to approve the level of funding required from North Yorkshire to the Corporate Director of Strategic Resources and to the Corporate Director of Strategic Resources in consultation with the Assistant Chief Executive to negotiate appropriate legal arrangements for the provision of the intermediate care units, to include the provision of respite facilities which currently take place at Silver Birches. The Executive also granted permission for a formal consultation to be undertaken to replace Silver Birches, subject to planning permission for the extra care development. Housing 21 held a pre-planning consultation meeting on the 5th of November 2018 in the Everton Centre and then proceeded to submit a planning application in February 2019. We have just been informed, last Thursday in fact, by Housing 21 that this application will be determined by Scarborough Borough Council's Planning Committee on the 31st of May. The future of Silver Birch's site buildings, I think it will have had some discussion, but I have found nobody that will commit to anything, and I have been told that there will be no discussions until after the planning application is determined. And in fact, will we firmly decided that the elderly person's home will be replaced by extra care, which that does sort of make some sort of sense. But so I'm afraid I can't really elaborate on the future of Silver Birches at this time.
What about the residents that currently in Silver Birches?
Well, I would imagine that they'll probably get one of the affordable rented places or whatever it is. There'll be negotiations done with them and their families as to what they want to do. Just to give an outline of the time scale, the planning application for 31st of May, as just said, with a view to starting on site in July or August, subject of course to the determination of the planning committee on the 31st. With the hope that the scheme will be completed by autumn 2020. There are plans available for viewing at Scarborough Borough Council's planning portal. So, I don't know if that makes anything any clearer.
Councillor Swan, the actual, is it buying in care? So who actually pays for the care? Does it, some of the money come from the council?
Well, it works just as the same it does at the moment. People pay for their own when they've got the means to, and then I can't remember the figure, but once you get to that figure, then the council takes over the payments. It'll be exactly the same as it is at the moment.
23.
Yeah.
Just over 23,000.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
You can't have a lot before you have to
No,
pay your own.
Exactly. So it'll be just the same. The partially owned ones, that will be for negotiation between the parties as to what they want to put in and what the county will put in, I would think.
Is it ever taken into consideration about updating the existing facilities? Just from the point that were raised earlier on about the site, the actual site being out of town and the increase in traffic and everything. The site, you know, it's already there. It's in the perfect
It was a
situation, isn't it?
It
Right
was
in
looked
town.
at. It was looked at,
By the consultant.
well, yes, and the the people that will actually be delivering the project when they put in their applications. That they would give a view on the different sites. I think there was 3 or 4 put forward. But you see, they all fall by the wayside for one reason or another. I don't know what the reasons were around Silver Birch. It is a very cramped site, and parking would have been a very big issue, because they were talking about taking up the sort of garages at the back. It would have filled the whole site. And as you appreciate, it's not an easy place to park around there. And of course, people visiting, you need to take that into consideration. And of course, quite a lot of the residents have their own cars still. I did make an offer to the town council to take them to see a site, see an extra care facility, and I'll renew that offer if that's their interest. Yes, if that's of any interest.
Councillor Wolf wants to say this.
Sorry.
It's Silver Birch's North Yorkshire County Council's land. Is the land theirs?
I think so, yes.
Right. So basically, once if planning gets passed for the new facility, probably sell that off to a developer to raise revenue for the council.
I can't say at this moment in time. That is obviously a possibility. I know that there is a local developer that's always sniffing around any opportunity. But I mean, I really can't say at this moment, because they'll look at the facility and see what it can do, whether it can fit in with the new establishment. subject always to planning. I do have to stress that, which
We've
isn't
heard.
a done deal as yet.
FCC
Will
the planning,
will the
FCC.
residents be purely for the elderly, or will there be like other people?
Change of
in
use,
this- Yeah.
you're referring to the C3 categorisation. Once you've had planning
Disabled, you mean?
granted, yeah, and
Well,
then
it- well, it- it would-
rehabilitation, alcohol,
Well,
rehabilitation,
they
speech
do
violence.
they do term elderly as 55 and beyond. It's just
But no,
surprising.
it's people with mental, no disrespect to anyone with mental health conditions, that's not what I'm saying, but people that from out of town, you know, that are placed in Scarborough because of their, Scarborough and Valley is this kind of area because of their additional needs, they're kind of like sent somewhere else and the council is paid to house them. So would it be, once planning planning permitted with it's C2 application, can it be changed once it's been passed to C3? So at the moment it's just for the elderly. Once it's passed, can it be changed so
I
that
think I'll have to go back and just get that clarified to myself. I would think not.
because somebody that I was speaking to had said once it's been passed, change of use doesn't have to go back to planning and it can be changed. Yeah,
Have to go to planning.
it does have to go to planning.
I would have thought it would
It does have
have
to go to planning. For any change of category, it has to go back, unless there is an overriding factor. For example, the new bar that's opened that was used to be the post office,
Yeah.
that didn't have to have planning permission because it had got its alcohol licence and it was under a certain square footage, and that overrode the requirements for a planning application to be put through for that building. So that, as Mr. Moog said before, you have to very much understand the fine details of it all, because there are ways and means of getting around stuff without actually doing it.
The extra care schemes are very, very good, and everyone that do gets better. The best ones are very integrated with their communities, and that's what I would hope for Fire.
I think I read yesterday something about 16 of the proposed units being NYCC having a say over who was housed in them. So from what you were saying before, that would be the residents from current Silver Birches.
I would think so, yes.
NYCC asked for rights to nominate 16
Yeah.
tenants to affordable.
Yes, because I mean, obviously they'll be
That's
looking to
first
house them as first priority.
Right.
Because, I mean, it is recognised that it's stressful for an elderly person. But the nice thing about the extra care facilities is people have their own door, and they can change their care plans, you know, once they become established. Their care plans can be changed to grow with them without them having to move.
When was the extra care facility going to be? I missed it when you were explaining.
It's Filey Fields Farm on Scarborough Road.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid I don't know what the flooding situation is there. What's it like up there?
It's like a match.
Is it?
Yeah, seriously. Very, very wet. The football pitch that was built not too long ago was just flooded all season when there's a little bit of rain, and you know you can actually see the water on the top. And if you just drive past it and have a cursory glance, it's all marshland.
Well, I'll certainly feed that back to them, but I mean, I would have imagined that would all be taken into consideration when they're putting in their plans.
The drainage would be a serious issue, that one.
Yeah.
And given that we've not got the alleviation scheme up and running at the moment, then I think it'd be an even bigger consideration. One would think.
Again, just going back to this planning seminar I went on, that pretty much you can build anything and anywhere, it just costs you more. So if it's marsh ground, you can drain marsh ground quite happily, it's just got to be done, that's all. So,
Done correctly, unlike
done
the
correctly.
football pitch.
And on the football field scenario, we've just been through a number of bits on that actually the football field has got excellent drainage facilities. It's just that the topsoil that was put on doesn't allow the water to get in the drainage facility.
Okay.
We believe that we put the clay back on top
Yes,
of the
you put the clay back on top of the
bench drain, so
I know it's been very, very difficult for them finding a site. you know,
Councillor
sorry.
Cockrell.
Regarding the drainage on the football field, when the facility was being constructed, we were running out of money and we had to cut back. We put the pipes in underground, maybe a metre deep, but they omitted the gravel slitting that links the top to the pipes, and that is the main problem.
Who did that? Was it a private contractor or was it FBC?
It was the, it wasn't SVC, it was,
It was the Football Foundation who were the major investor in that project, and they had the overall control of it. Could I just ask one thing, Helen? Having read out your report, which was very comprehensive, could we possibly have a copy of that report too?
I'll type it up because you won't be able to read my handwriting. Is there any more questions as to the extra care scheme? Or in any other?
No.
Right, moving on. We still invest in the smaller things that matter with our Stronger Communities programme, helping people to help themselves. Such as our community libraries, which are going from strength to strength, and we have an excellent example here in our midst. Can't tell you enough the good work that they do. It's really good. And also in the smallest things with our locality budget. In the past year, the locality budget has supported St John's, the Filey Lions, the Sea Cadets, and the Filey's Return to Dragon, which unfortunately, despite all the work that was put in, that was such a shame. So there was £5,000 went to them, and £5,000 has gone to Filey in Bloom for returning the wishing well to its former splendour. And I'm looking forward to that. Sorry?
Which actually belongs to Scarborough Council.
Oh, well, I have nothing to do with that. All I know is I got an application, and it's nice to see it go forward.
Yeah, thank you.
Our new massive energy from waste plant at Allerton, in partnership with Amy Casper, is now working efficiently and effectively and getting rid of North Yorkshire's rubbish without using landfill. It's very important for the. You all know the issues around landfill. Our schools education attainment is still top of the class. Ofsted has judged our children's services as outstanding, the only such judgment in the country. We would be very proud of that. Something of a whistle-top tour with things that I thought would, sort of impinge on you to some extent. I do have an update on the current situation in the Welcome to Yorkshire, but if anybody wants to see me later, rather because I've gone on a bit long-winded, so if anybody's interested, they can just see me later about that. And may I take the opportunity to thank the Town Council with particular reference to Richard, your Chairman, to Marion Wright, and to Marilyn Anthony, who I believe will not be rejoining us next year. And of course to your clerk, David Riddle, and his assistant. I look forward to getting to know the rest of this year. For all your help and support over the past year, it's very much appreciated. This job would be impossible without it. Thank you.
Right, thank you for that.
Does anybody have anything else?
Yes, just a quick one.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah. You know, you were saying about cutbacks and things. Brooklands that used to be in Filey, streamlining the services, children's services. Yeah. There's a building on Brooklands. NYCC sold that building and everything.
Sorry,
now.
Brooklands, they didn't own it.
Oh, they didn't own it, it was just rented. Oh, no, that's fine.
And that's why, you're meaning the
children's services, yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah,
the kids play thing.
that was why, because I think someone died and they wanted it, the estate wanted to sell it.
Right, okay. So
but that was why.
and that's why it's all now in Show Start Centre, next to the infant school.
Yeah.
Right. No, fine.
Okay. Great, thank you for that.
Just before
Sorry.
I have been asked by somebody to put forward about the speeding on Muston Road. I know that's to do with police. Muston Road and Scarborough Road. Scarborough Road more than Muston Road, I suppose. They said could they have bumps in the but I didn't understand that North
Would you
Yorkshire.
really like bumps down?
No, but I don't think they do them anymore, do they?
Well,
I don't
they
think they like
resist doing them. I mean, I wouldn't say they would never do them, but they don't like them.
But could some be looked into for some calming measures down
The council,
down the road?
the council can now purchase
The street.
the street things if they wanted. We'll have a word with Anne and see if we can suggest something.
Yeah.
Shall we put this on the agenda for...
Yeah, but I think that's to bring that forward.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Fine, councillor.
But
Now
that
we'll
may
put
be
it on that.
that may be a possibility if you look at
Yeah.
the matrix size.
Yeah,
Maybe a possibility.
yeah. Well, that could go on to the agenda for another meeting later on. Okay.
West Road as well, outside the junior school. I mean, I don't live there anymore, but I spent a long time up that end, and there's a lot of cars that come whizzing up when there's kids crossing roads and things like that on West Road.
Well, they shouldn't.
And it's
Well,
West
there's even the
Well,
kids.
you know, because I mean, there's all the school signs, etc.
yeah, the children design the
Yeah.
20, speed signs, and
It's always difficult to know how to slow
yeah,
people
but
down.
so that doesn't deter people, unfortunately.
Well, once again, that could be put on the agenda for a future meeting.
Yeah, we can have that.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I do have a lollipop, which
Yeah,
is good.
okay, that's when the new council will be in, by the way, then. All right. Councillor Helen Swayers, thank you for all you've done for Fiery and for, I've got you, for turning up at your every council meeting. You haven't missed many at all.
Well, I try not to.
You haven't, honestly. And thank you for all you've done.
You're welcome.
One last question from
Just a
the
quick
gentleman
question,
there.
Richard Hay from Pilot Tourism Association. Just a quick question in relation to the hoarding that seems to appear down the side of the roads during the summertime. Is that SVT or is that the North Yorkshire County Council?
So down what's down the road?
As you drive past Filey,
On the main road?
during the summertime, there's a plethora of signs that appear advertising caravans for sale.
This is a hobby horse of
Yeah.
some members of the
I was
town
just
council.
wondering whose responsibility.
North Yorkshire County Council.
There you go.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Haxby.
Just to say, this has been raised at every council meeting,
Yeah.
8 years, and nothing ever gets done. What is annoying is that the signs that have been put up look official,
They do.
because they've got the proper grey steel posts, the blue as though they're a road sign directing people, and all they're directing them to is a caravan sign. But county just don't do anything.
No, I have brought it up on more than one occasion, and all I really get told is, well, they will have the necessary permissions.
Well, have they?
Exactly.
How do you know if they are?
I don't know how to find that out.
Well, it's county council, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've got to be specific about where they are, and that isn't actually my patch, to be honest. That's something we maybe should have talked about on the walkabout.
Yeah, well, once again, we can do that on that, on the new walkabout. You know. Councillor Wright.
Roundabouts are a bit complicated because we as Valley Blue have been asked several times to do something with the two roundabouts at the top. Well, they're actually in different parishes. One's in Muston Parish and one is in Reeton Parish. Now, the roundabouts themselves belong to North Yorkshire County Council, who won't let you put certain things on them. But when it comes to getting money to help with the roundabouts, apparently a new firm took over selling advertising on these roundabouts about 2 years ago. Now, Roger and Shirley used to do this through Scarborough Borough Council.
I've seen the ones in Scarborough, you know,
Now
within
they did on
Scarborough.
the other roundabouts and they sold them to various people and got money out of them. But now there's a firm doing it, and that's where the ones John's talking about have got different types of signs. And and they are through a new firm that North Yorkshire County Council do.
Well,
That's my understanding of it, which is very
I have brought
complicated.
it up a number of times and
Yeah.
haven't really got anywhere. So I think that when we do another walkabout,
Yeah.
which I think we will be,
We won't go on the end one.
Well, we won't be going right
yeah,
now.
no, it won't be just now, 'cause we've just had one. But that's something that, well, we'll have to get into a car for, but it's something that,
But just,
and then we can be specific, because that's what I found so useful about the walkabout. You can be specific.
Yeah.
but there is also signs taped, or whatever, with the straps to lamp posts.
That doesn't sound right to me, but...
Yeah, all sorts of signs. Now they often go up on a Friday, because there's nobody working in North Yorkshire County Council.
And then they'll come down again after the
They might come
weekend.
down again, and then they'll go up again. And
That's what it's-
sometimes they leave them till somebody used to go and fetch them and make them pay to get them back again. You used to have to pay £25 to get them.
Well,
back
yes,
again.
I have heard of that. They send them to the other side of the county, so they've got a long way to go.
Yes. Yeah, but those signs shouldn't be there at all. They are illegal, and all these signs for pubs and things like that on the roadside, they're all illegal, and they should be taken away.
We'll make it a subject for a walkabout.
Yeah.
And I've just stated here that really it's nothing to do with Farnham County Council road signs because they're not in our parish.
True.
We can comment on them,
Yes.
but really,
Yes, I mean, this is the thing about this meeting, it's for the public to give us some feedback and ideas.
so none of them like,
They
we don't like them, but
Yeah, exactly. There's a gentleman at the back there.
All right, Richard here again. Just to point out, I'd like to congratulate North Yorkshire County Council on because when we put up some bikes for the Tour of Yorkshire last year, it took them a day to give me a Mike Royal roasting via email that had to be taken down. So I'd like to congratulate North Yorkshire County Council for that. So why can't we do something as quickly about these flaming boardings that
Well,
decorate our
as I
town?
say, I have brought it up on more than one occasion, but I've just never really getting anywhere. And it really is outside Filey's boundaries. But anyway, I'll have another go.
Can I just make one more comment and then I'll be quiet? You know, you were saying about children's services being made outstanding, which is good.
Yes.
I've got two very small children, and in Filey now, since things change, I know there's a big reshuffle and they're out of Brooklyn, things are shut down. There's one group per week that's put on by North Yorkshire County Council. Now I know, you know, like the infant school in Filey alone,
Yes.
there's like 60 odd children per year. That's the intake for the infant school each year. But just saying, you know, the 60 toddlers and whatever, and there's only one thing put on by the council per week for the young children. I just feel there isn't a lot in Filey, really, for young children. You know, one session, and when they were over at Brooklands as well, two of the girls that I used to go there with actually sent emails, because everything was like rejigged and things were sent differently. And I think there were 9 of us who were going to this group, and they sent an email to Children's Services, and they basically just said, there's not enough of you to make it sustainable. We don't care that you want it on a Tuesday and 9 of you will be gathering and putting it on a Thursday. And it basically folded because only about 4 people were attending.
Well,
it was just completely ignored.
Yeah. Well, I'll make some inquiries and see what I can find out.
Yeah.
But it does need numbers to make it worthwhile to run these.
But 9 of us were going to go on another day and said we couldn't attend on this, you know, specific day, and they wouldn't change it to accommodate us, and so it ended up folding because nobody could go on that day.
They must
when
have
everybody
reasons.
go. They didn't use any.
That's poor.
Right, thank you for that. Gentleman at the back again.
Robert Hartley. There is a small session every Friday morning in the library.
Yes, there is.
For small
Yes.
children.
I have been with my small children.
Bring more of them.
Bring more of them. And it was very well attended, your small session. Yeah, and the St John's one as well is absolutely
It
amazing.
is there.
Yeah. Mine are a bit little for
Part of the library service.
Yeah, it's great what they're doing in the library.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
can't praise them enough.
Definitely.
Mr Moses.
One final question for Councillor Cockrell. You mentioned earlier that, am I allowed to go up there?
Well, we have jumped forward onto Councillor Swires right now,
Oh, sorry.
the county. So, you know, this time, we'll leave it. Okay. You can ask him afterwards. All right. And yes, dear.
Hi, Carol Milner. I have a question about for the county council. Earlier it was mentioned about the bay having taken over nature areas for development.
Yes.
Well, the coastal path along the part of the cliff near the bay is Flatcliff Gill, or some people call it Butcher Haven. It's the gill that goes down near the bay.
Because sometimes I have trouble when I go to find the names are different.
Yeah,
The
so
local names
on
when
all,
I go.
the difference on all the maps. The coastal path goes along the cliff from Hummonby Gap. It used to go down the gill. The stream at the bottom of the gill is about the width of a chair,
Yes.
and it used to go on up through Primrose Valley along the edge of the cliff. The county council proposed that it was too expensive to bridge that stream, and so they're going to cut down between 1.5 and 2 kilometres of ancient natural wilderness up the gill to the bay and down the other side, so that they can bridge the bay. And the word on the street is that the bay is trying to get access because they haven't got direct access to the beach, so they're trying to get access down to Hummonby Gap via a footpath. But it came from the county council, because the representative from the county council was at a meeting about how the path is going across that gill on site, and he said it was too expensive to bridge this much water in the bottom of the gill, and so they're going to flatten that nature area where there's a lot of wildlife. There's
Do you know when this is going to happen?
nesting. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's the county. I was told that it's by a county council representative that it's the county council that will bring the
I'll go
bulldozers
to the
in and
footpath
action.
department and see what I can find out.
Thank you.
Anybody else wish to speak to Councillor Helen Swires? No? Right, we'll move on then. Local organisation reports. I hope you've all had an opportunity to read the report from the local organisations. The first one is on what number is that on? 28. Okay, and then it goes on, there is, I don't know how many reports on that.
There's nothing. Private Initiative is from the Filey Parish, the Discover Filey, Filey Tourism Association, and then it comes to the police report, so that's the end of the local groups and organisations.
Yeah, well, there's nobody here from Filey Parish.
Nobody from Filey Parish.
No. Next one is
Discover
Filey. There's nobody here from there, is there? Tourism. Yes, there's a gentleman here from tourism. Yes. So if we go straight to tourism, which is on page 31, and have a quick read on that. See. Does anybody wish to ask any questions on that?
The demolished. Sorry.
There's a gentleman at the back.
Oh, the demolished toilet block. It references the demolished toilet block.
That's
I'm looking at back page. Sorry.
I was going to say, I can't answer that one.
No, just the Discover Filey one.
No, well, the
No,
Tourism
we're-
Association we're on now.
Tourism Association.
There's nobody in from Discover.
There's nobody here from this. No.
But can I just say,
Go on.
demolished toilet block?
Yeah. Oh,
Happened to you?
it's like a shelter.
That was, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a shelter.
Yeah,
It's just good if it was raining.
Yes, I know what you mean now. By the car park, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Councillor Haxley.
Yeah, I'd like to comment on that, Mr. Chairman. when that came before this council, there were many members totally against the demolishing of the toilet block. We were assured that once it was demolished, there would be a visitor centre built on the site. Again, some of us still fought against the demolishing, in that whilst it was not a functioning toilet block, it was a good shelter in inclement weather, certainly by the side of the old golf course there. And we were assured they were building a visitor centre and all this malarkey. And then the borough decided to pull the money, they put Section 106 money into it, so it would appear that the borough got free demolishing of the toilet block, put absolutely nothing back into it, other than they can now improve the caravan site, which will not enhance any of our lives whatsoever. They did say that if there was any money left over, they would look into doing something to discover filing on the caravan site, but that could not be guaranteed. And you can see there lots of things have been rejected by them, so again it's a rip-off of Filey by Scarborough Council.
Right, so, any more questions on that? No? We'll go on to the next one then, which is, I think I need it on here.
The last report was the police
The
report.
police report.
But we've done that.
Yes, we've done that earlier on, so, yes.
We were on tourism.
Representative from Farley Chamber of Trade.
Yes, we'll get you on that one. Farley Chamber of Trade.
Hi everybody, I'm Jackie, chairman of the Farley Chamber of Trade. I just quickly know that we have set up financial support for Farley Folk Festival, Keep Farley Tidy and Friends of Farley Park, and we're looking forward to amalgamating with the Farley Tourism Association in the near future, hopefully beginning of next year. Thank you.
Okay, any questions for on that? No, we'll move on then. We'll go on to the next one on the agenda, which is number 8 on the agenda. Public questions and debates. To have public questions and debates on important items of any local issue. Questions and comments are invited from electors living within the parish of Filey and any of the above items. Mr. Moore.
Can I come back in there, please?
Yes.
Just a question to Councillor Cockrell, where he stated earlier that he said that his officers didn't do as you asked. Have any sanctions been imposed on these officers?
Unfortunately, their interpretation of the decisions by the full council differed from mine.
So the answer is no.
Right, is there any more questions? Yes.
I have a question, and I'm not sure who the relevant authority, which is why I'm bringing it up. There's a signpost at the top of Sands Road at Hummerby Gap that says there's toilets at the bottom. However, the toilets at the bottom, the council said they would no longer provide toilets at the bottom, so the toilets are owned by the cafe and only open when the cafe is open. Because there's a road sign at the top that says there's a public convenience, people leave the road, come down and use the surrounding area of private property to do their toiletries, which is unhealthy and disgusting, and yet whoever's responsible for the sign, they're still looking good because it looks like they're providing toilets, but they've pulled out their support of public toilets at Hummerby Gap, and just like the previous conversations about toilets, whether it's in Country Park or anywhere else, when you've got a significant number of tourists, you've got a lot of people needing the toilet. So I think either the toilets should be reinstated by the council to be supported and to support the Filey Bay tourism, or I think they should remove the sign and own up that actually they're relying on the people running the cafe to maintain those toilets and provide those toilets at their own expense.
Right, thank you for that. Councillor Cockrell.
I'm in town hall tomorrow, I'll raise that question.
Thank you.
So,
Is it still a borough council issue?
It may or may not be.
Okay, thank you.
right,
Whatever the
if
size
Councillor Cockrell actually gets over that information, can you pass it on?
Yes.
Thank you very
Right,
much.
because Hummermy Gap isn't in ours
Oh, okay.
area.
It is.
It is. Sorry, it is.
I thought it was.
Because I've never been on that side of it. Okay. You want to say anything at the back if you've been hiding there?
Not the moment.
Okay, yes.
Just wondered, does anybody know what's happening with 25 Queen Street?
Not that I know.
Folded up your
It's a house that's boarded up. I've been asked by lots of tourists to file it.
We've been working on it, the council's been working on it.
It's still boarded up, I just
It's
wondered.
your
if-
house.
Yeah. That's not the council,
So, forming up.
And all that's interesting is, are they getting double the council tax off the owners? Because it's a run-off by building.
That's correct.
And it's nice.
They don't like to give out exemptions at SBC in the council tax department, I know for a fact.
And I just think it's bottom filing, it's
Yeah,
not
I agree.
exemption.
Yeah.
So who owns it? Who's
Beyond
gonna do it?
housing.
Private.
Oh, they don't?
Different housing, private.
It's got all beyond housing signs on it.
No, it's private.
So do the town council have any rights to put any pressure on the owners?
All the right we have is to report it to Scarborough Borough Council, who will then put pressure on them.
It has been reported on a number of occasions to them, and as yet, nothing has happened. The only small explanation was because they didn't have at the time money to do whatever is necessary to get it to a standard.
Okay. Yes.
Which is referring back to the toilet situation that the lady over there was discussing at Honey Gap. I am aware of the situation down there, and I do know the landlady that has the actual cafe down there, and I do know the issues that she can't have people using the toilet, I am aware. But I also know that she's had quite a lot of strong conversations with Scarborough Council regarding everything to do with the toilet when it was originally there and what she's done to put her own in. I thought not the Yorkshire County Council, the fine comes under North Yorkshire County Council. The fine is the same with the toilet down the bottom of I think that comes under it.
Is it a blue sign?
No, it's I think it says it's just a sign, it might be brown, I'm not sure, but it says beach and toilet.
There's no toilet
And I
facility. It
think-
used to be, but there is no longer. It's private now, attached to a cafe.
But the
I mean,
problem is,
that just brings me back to what I've been banging on about for ages, about just going around and trying to rationalise some of these signs, because it seems to me that a lot of them, and most of them want painting, if nothing else.
but because now there's people going and using private land to go to the toilet, so it's becoming disgusting.
And it
can't
becomes a
stop that.
health hazard actually.
I can't see the toilet being back down there, but it'd be nice if it was, but Councillor Cockle said he'd look into that, but then he'll look into signage as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. Councillor Cockrell.
Just going back to the gentleman asking about 25 Queen Street, it's a similar situation in quite a few properties around Filey. They're in a very poor state of repair, maybe the occupants no longer living there, and the family's not looking after it. And I've raised this on a number of occasions, and just told by the planning enforcement people that there's nothing they can do unless it gets very, very bad and it becomes a healthy issue. It's like rat infestation. It's the system.
Yeah, I think we had that same thing with the old wine shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, thank you. Does anybody else wish to say anything? No? No?
Sorry, I'm not again.
Okay then. In that case, we've come to the end of the meeting. I'd like to thank everybody for coming along tonight and giving us some really good feedback and things that the council can take forward in the new council. And yes, I will still be here for the May making on the 15th of May. I'll still be sat up here for about 5 minutes. Okay, and then the new mayor then will take over from me. I also will be chair of the meeting, the first meeting in May, but I will just be the chair of it. I will not have a vote, only a casting vote. Okay, on that one. So I should be able to say what I want to say on that one. Yes.
Before the next meeting, are we able to pick?
Yes, yes.
Before the meeting, so we can have a quick read through.
Before the next
Any meeting?
any meeting,
Yeah.
yes.
You can get them off the
And you
website.
can download